Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Off-Farm Income Podcast. Hey, thank you so much for joining us here on our YouTube channel for episode number 933. Well, today we are profiling the 2020 National Proficiency winner in equine entrepreneurship. Ashlyn Mohling is coming on our show to talk about what she did with therapeutic horse riding and how that propelled her to a national proficiency win. You're really going to enjoy getting to know this young lady, and we're going to get that started for you right now. Ashlyn, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. It is my pleasure, and I was thrilled to see your name called as a National Proficiency winner. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are welcome. That is great, and that is one heck of an accomplishment, and we'll get into that here in a little while. But yeah, that's really cool what you're doing, and we'll let everybody know what that is here in just a moment. I'd love to introduce you to everybody and kind of get to know you a little bit. How old are you?
I am 19 years old.
Okay. And where are we talking to you from today? Where are you at?
I am currently on campus at my college at the Nebraska College of Technical Agriculture.
Awesome. So what town is that in?
It is in Curtis, Nebraska.
Curtis, Nebraska. Okay, I am not familiar with Curtis, Nebraska. I've done my share of Nebraska time, though. So where is Curtis? What part of the state?
It is western central kind of part of Nebraska.
Okay, western central. All right, very good. Okay, so you're studying vet tech, and what year are you in now? Are you in your second year?
I am in my first year out here.
First year. Okay, so did you just graduate last spring then?
Yes.
Oh, man, well, good for you. You got all sorts of stuff going on. You graduated high school, starting college, Proficiency Awards. That's incredible. So good for you. And where did you go to high school?
I went to high school at Adams Central in Hastings, Nebraska.
Okay, in Hastings, Nebraska. Very cool. And you were your chapter's reporter there?
Yes, I was.
Awesome. Good for you. All right. Well, so when did you start in the FFA? What brought you into the FFA?
I started FFA in the 8th grade.
Okay.
It was a fairly new chapter, so it was a new experience for all of us.
Gotcha. So new chapter, and obviously they offered it in middle school. You could start in the 8th grade. Okay. And what brought you in? Why did you want to join?
I was not fully on the path to join FFA, but my mother kept telling me, just go to a meeting, just go see what it is. And I finally went, and I just never stopped going. And I kind of fell in love with it from the first meeting.
Okay, very good. That's funny. I finally went, and I just never stopped. Okay.
Yep.
So now, had your mom been an FFA member or something like that, or had she learned about the organization and what it does for students elsewhere?
She was not a member of FFA, but I came from an agriculture family, so they were pushing me towards just trying out FFA and seeing what it was.
Gotcha. Well, that's very similar in my case. My daughter's starting FFA this year, and I was actually not an FFA member, but now that I've learned so much about it, I said, no, you need to do this. You need to be part of this. So, well, good for you. I'm glad that worked out, and I'm glad your mom pushed you. Did you grow up on a farm or in town or something like in the middle of those two?
I have grown up on a farm, farming in a cattle operation. So okay. Lots to do.
Lots to do. Okay, so cattle, and then farming row crops like corn and things like that as well?
Yes.
Okay, very interesting. So now I know your SAE and your proficiency involves horses. Did you have horses there?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
I grew up with 2 older sisters, and we've all had the horses. I grew up on a horse.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, let's do this. I'd love to acknowledge your FFA advisor or advisors. Who have those people been for you?
My FFA advisor, my all 5 years in FFA was Brandon Jacobitz.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for acknowledging him. Appreciate you doing that. Well, so let's talk about your supervised agricultural experience, and we'll jump into what you did that led to this National Proficiency Award. But tell us what it was.
So, just explain it.
Yeah, just tell us the title of it
Okay.
and just tell us what you were doing. Yeah, absolutely.
So my SAE project was the equine entrepreneurship area, and as a part of this, obviously growing up with horses, I showed horses at multiple different levels and took care of them and was responsible for maintaining their health and all aspects of their needs. Um, but the thing that really stands out with my SAE project was my involvement with the Therapeutic Writing Group.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to circle back around to what you did with the Therapeutic Writing Group, but let's talk about the horses for a second. So the horses that you grew up with there on your family's farm in Nebraska, were they working horses? Were they there just for pleasure, or did you use them for dealing with the cattle and things like that?
They were good old all around horses. They would go and get shown in your pretty fancy pleasure classes, and then they'd be expected to go back on the farm and work the cows and move the cows and help out.
Okay, very good. So pretty working horses.
Yep.
Okay, very good. And so you know, when it came time to choose a supervised agricultural experience, was this the first thing that you ever chose back in, I guess, 8th grade or your freshman year?
um, yeah, I'd say that it was.
Okay. And so how did you choose this? What was it about the horses and what you were doing with the horses that made you go, this is what I want to focus on for my SAE?
A lot of the influence was from my FFA advisor. He always kept telling me like, "Hey, you're doing something cool. You should do this."
Okay.
And I finally walked into his office. It took 4 years of him telling me, "You should do this. You should do this." And I walked into his office fall of my senior year, so just this last fall, and I said, "Hey, I want to do this." And he said, "Finally."
Okay.
And so it took a lot of days of hard work making sure I'm filling stuff out to get it all out on paper.
Got it. So you had been working with horses and working with them therapeutically for other people that whole time, and then finally a year ago, right now, last fall, you said, I'm going to fill out the record book and I want to submit it.
Yep.
Okay, good for you. That is great. Well, you must have done a great job, because to be a national proficiency winner is no small feat. That record book must look like you were keeping it up to date every year for 4 years.
Yeah.
Great job. Well, so tell us about the day-to-day activities with working with horses and using horses for therapeutic riding and things like that.
So all the horses are on our farm, so I obviously have to take care of them, feed them, do whatever they need. And then the therapeutic riding takes place in the summer. My 4-H county extension people are really great, and through 4-H they have let us work with the therapeutic kids and then provided them with their own little show in the middle of our county fair horse show.
Oh.
So they get to show off their skills that they worked on during the summer and that connection that they got with that horse.
Got it. That's great. So, okay. So tell me about the kids that you're working with. What are some of the challenges that they're dealing with, and how do the horses and riding horses help them out?
So these kids have just a range of differences, and some of them have speech impediments, or some of them have other difficulties, and just the things that we take for granted they struggle with. And so by being able to be around those horses, it challenges them and also stimulates their brain, and they want to work, and they want to be able to do what's being asked.
Got you. That's great. And so when you start working with these young men and young women, have they ever been on a horse before, or are you starting them from, the very, very base level?
Most of them have never been on a horse before. It's their first experience with a horse.
Okay. Well, I can think back to when I was little and I first got on a horse, and those are large animals. I was scared. Are they ever frightened? Do you ever have to overcome that before you get them up there?
Most definitely. Sometimes they do, and even sometimes from year to year, they're a little bit weary about the horse, and then they get back on and they realize that they love it.
Okay. So now you said there's a skills competition that's put on by the 4-H and the county extension at the county fair. What kind of skills are you teaching them, and what are they demonstrating there in the arena?
So for the therapeutic writing show, there's two different parts to it. So one of them is just like your regular horse class, and these therapeutic riders, they have a leader and a sidewalker just to ensure their safety, first and foremost, because that's the most important thing. But just to see how well they can ride. That's and great. How well they handle their body and can control their body. So that's one part of it. But then there are little obstacles for the second part of it that are set up, and kind of like a trail pattern they can go through and work with the obstacles and open and close a mailbox, or put colored rings over the matching cones that are on the arena ground.
Okay. Oh, very cool. And I'm sure they get a huge round of applause as they do it. Yes. That's great. That's wonderful. So now when that show takes place, are you there to cheer them on and to kind of clap and applaud for the people that you've worked with?
Oh, yes, I am. I'm usually plenty busy with my own 4-H stuff, but in all that chaos, I make sure to watch, even though I can't help that day because I'm also showing.
Yeah. Okay. So you're doing double duty. Well, that's great. So now is the training that these students undergo for the therapeutic horse riding, is this done through your county extension, or is the county extension merely I shouldn't say merely, but only putting on this show and the skills competition?
So it's the therapeutic riding program is a thing that my family started.
Okay.
And so our county has just allowed us to adapt that into our normal horse project.
Got it. Okay. Is there a name? Is it a business? Is there a name for it?
In order to go along with the 4-H rules, it is its own 4-H club. So it's the Blue Valley Blazers Therapeutic Riding Club.
Very cool. So it's an actual 4-H club and it's focused specifically on the therapeutic riding.
Yes.
That's great. So these kids, not only are they getting the opportunity to learn about horses and enjoy this, but they're also participating in the 4-H.
Yes.
That is fantastic. When did your family start this?
Oh my goodness. I can't remember. It's been a while going.
Okay. And the name of it again was Blue Valley or Blue Belly? What was it?
Blue Valley Blazers.
Blue Valley Blazers. That's great. Now, are you familiar with are there other 4-H clubs around the nation that do something similar to what you and your family had started?
I'm not sure about 4-H clubs, but I know that there are other places that do therapeutic riding.
Got it. Okay. Very good. And so do you ever have 4-H clubs from anywhere else reach out to you and say, hey, we're interested in what you're doing there in Nebraska. We'd like to replicate that?
There have been a couple, and another one within our own county too that is just a normal club, but they have a couple therapeutic kids that also join in for the show and join in on some practices.
Okay. Now, your Proficiency Award, it's equine entrepreneurship. So how does entrepreneurship factor into this?
I am not entirely sure. That's just what my advisor said to go in under.
Okay, so that is the title that it went under. And it fit, obviously, because you were selected. So that is great. Now, for you to be selected as a national proficiency winner, I mean, you obviously stood out to the people who were judging this. What do you think it is about your project or about your record book that made you stand out?
I definitely think that the therapeutic riding is what stood out the most and allowed me to make it so far.
Okay. So, helping others, serving others, that's probably what jumped out to those folks.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Now, you're currently studying veterinary technology there at Nebraska College of Technical Ag. So what do you want to do with this when you finish up?
It is my hopes to go into practicing as a veterinary technician at either a large animal practice or mixed animal practice.
Okay. And is coming back and doing any farming on your family's place, is that A, something you want to do, and B, if you did, is it a possibility?
It is a possibility. I am more in love with the cattle side of things, so I would love to take over our Red Angus herd eventually someday.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
And do you raise registered Angus there?
I'm pretty sure they're just regular Red Angus.
Okay, just
sure.
commercial, just a commercial herd.
Commercial Red Angus, yeah.
Got it. Okay. So Red Angus, beautiful cattle, by the way. For the longest time, I thought I would raise Red Angus. I ended up with Herefords, and I love my Herefords, but I always thought I would raise Red Angus. Just a beautiful, beautiful breed of cow. Okay, very interesting. So you would like to do that. Now, the vet tech side, what took you towards that?
I have always been in love with animals, all kinds, all breeds, whatever. And just the thought of being able to help them and learn more about them really interested me and drove me to go into the vet tech field.
Okay. So now will you be able to be done with your college classes at the end of next year and be able to get into the career field right then?
Yes, I will be. Out here, it is a 2-year course, so you're in and out of school and onto the work.
Good for you. Well, that's exciting. It's something you want to do, and you get to jump into it very quickly. So that's exciting. That's great. How has working with people in this therapeutic writing area, how has that influenced what you want to do with your career and what you chose to study in college?
So obviously, just the helping aspect. You help those kids and you help those animals, and it's just a great feeling on you personally that you made a difference and you're helping for the greater good.
Yeah, that's great. Well, good for you. Well, I am excited for you, Ashlyn, and I'd love to get your advice for other students out there. With what you've been doing something that you enjoy, but also serves other people. Can you talk, to incoming FFA freshmen about the service aspect of what you do in the FFA and why that's so important to you?
Yeah, definitely. So, the biggest thing that I can say is don't be afraid to try something different, even if you're uncomfortable with it at first, especially if it's going to help others. You get a great reward from it personally, and just it's a great feeling, and it's something that once you start, it's hard to stop.
I like that. That is true. Once you start serving others, it is difficult to stop. That's a theme with you. Once you started FFA, you just never stopped going. Once you start serving other people, you never stop. That's good. I like that, Ashlyn. Well, hey, it has been a pleasure to meet you, and congratulations again. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here, everyone, and thank you to Ashlyn Mohling for coming on the Off-Farm Income Podcast today. And hey, as always, enjoy your journey to the ultimate lifestyle business, agriculture.